Did the game not open? There it goes. Hello, Vargas. Hello, Phoenix. Why is the game so fucking tiny on the screen? Hey, Rolana. Oh, that's loud. Let's see. We want to change this to be fit to screen. There we go. That should be better. Hey, good job, Vargas. Welcome to the party, then. Hey, Rolana, I need... remind me to message you before I call it quits for the night. I gotta talk to you about some stuff. I want to schedule something. Alright. So, if you didn't read the title, we're just gonna be doing quick battles today. I need to be practicing just kind of every day for about an hour or so. Oh, thanks, Tristan. Yeah, Eric the Red did a really good job with the background stuff for the video. He also did a good job cleaning up the audio. He just kind of did a good job in general. But we're just going to play for about an hour today. Nothing too crazy, just try and get some quick battles in to practice. I've got a bunch of tourneys coming up that I'm going to try and actually do well in, which means I need to get good at this game. And the first one I've got coming up is Lionheart's tournament, which is next Saturday, which I have to play Lizardman for. So we're going to get as good as we can with playing Lizardman competitively. But, as... I have Blood Bowl later, but it's not for a while. Ugh, my eye hurts. Alright, he's going Dwarves. So against Dwarves, Mazdamundi's a pretty good take. Krokar's not bad. Regular Olbla's not bad either. We are going in with a hardcore trying to win philosophy. So let's try... Let's look at what our options are here. Let's go Mazdamundi on Zlak. We don't need Rolling Skies. We'll keep the rest. Arcane Forging, I'll keep. Net is not going to be that useful, I don't think. Harmonic Convergence will be useful. Curse of the Midnight Wind will be very useful. Comet we can drop. We can save Arcane Forging in case there's like a Runesmith and we want to just try and drop some damage. You know what? No, let's go ahead and drop it. We're just going to focus on using buff spells and then hitting people. Hey, Cold Rage. Let's see. And then against Dwarves... What is walk mode? Also, thanks for the donation, Val. Let's see. We want Skink Chief against Dwarves. Against Dwarves, you want to go pretty stompy where you can. Win at all costs. Yes, this is win at all costs mode. We'll go with a Pterodon. Did it? I'm trying to make sure the... like, alerts are playing. Okay, good. I like how assuming is apparently blocked out for cursing. No, I've never heard that in my area, because I think everybody was always a tryhard in my area. We're gonna take a Scarvet on foot, whose goal is just gonna be to cause leadership problems and just be kind of a nuisance in the main line. Then we need a Saurus line. We don't need spears because dwarves. Maybe one unit of Temple Guard for armor. No, we don't need Temple Guard for armor piercing. We do want Skinks. We are going to want at least 2 units of Kroxigor. Alright, he's ready. So let's drop another Saurus. We should get something that needs to go around the back. So let's pick up some... I almost want to pick up a unit of Horned One Riders. Let's try a unit of Horned One Riders, just out of curiosity. We don't have any shooting, so let's drop both of these and grab 2 units of skirmishers. And then I really want one more big dino. But I don't know if I can afford another big dino. See, I would have to clear up quite a bit of money. Let's just try running with this. Essentially, let's pick up another unit of... I don't know if we really need skirmishers. Let's pick up another unit of skinks. And then let's throw down some ranks on our Saurus line and our skink line. So this time, Horned One Riders have a really bad reputation. I've never actually tried them before, but we're just trying them. So I will only play Dragon... Yeah, so for those of you who aren't aware, I've reopened my Twitch channel. And starting next week on Twitch, we're going to play every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. At least on Twitch. And we're not going to play Warhammer games, with the exception of Vermintide. Vermintide will be over there. Because of the Twitch integration. But Vermintide we'll do on both channels. But for that channel is literally just going to be me having fun playing video games that I want to play. Like Heroes of the Storm, or Hearthstone, or Dragon Age, or Ori and the Blind Forest 2 when that comes out. You know, like that's going to be me playing like games that I just want to enjoy. And is going to be a lot more casual and like not at all focused on Warhammer and stuff. Tristan, I would trust Mazdamundi much more, because he would probably just sleep and contemplate the universe the entire time. I would not trust Krokgar all that much. Alright. Oh, this is not the map I thought it was. I mean, this map works fine for what I'm going to try and do. So he has more troops than we do, which makes sense because we've got a lot of big things. So our goal is we want the skinks to run up... We want the basic skinks to run up the center. And basically their goal is just to take enemy fire. And we're going to run the Kroxigors behind them. Well, that way the skinks can absorb hopefully absorb a good amount of the fire before they come rushing in. Then we're going to have the Saurus line behind that. Then the skinks we're going to deploy. We're going to put one unit up here. And we're going to put another unit out here to do some early scouting for us. Mazdamundi will go in the center of the line. And the Horned One Riders are going to go over in this forest. And basically wait for a good opportunity to come out and just make a mess. Pterodons we're going to put up there. And then the Scarvet is going to help move with this group. Which we're going to make the... We're going to make this portion a control group. And then this portion a control group. Then I want you, and you, and you. Oops. How did I select... What the fuck? There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit start. We're gonna move up. And we want our skinks to run around the back to try and find good avenues of harass. What kind of guns does he have? He has a cannon and he has a goblobber. Okay, so the cannon's probably gonna fire at the Kroxigors if I had to guess. Maybe Mazdamundi. But we're gonna tell this group to hustle. We're not gonna wait for the Saurus. Alright, he's got Thorgrim, Grudgebearer. I don't see any real ranged units yet, which means there's probably Rangers. So we're gonna go ahead and scout them out with the Pterodon just to give me line of sight on what's going on here. And these guys, hopefully we can stealthily move through the forest. Alright, still not seeing anything. Let's go ahead and start shooting at Thorgrim here. And we're going to give a couple of charge orders. and have Kroxigors just tear up shop. Alright, Saurus, we're gonna bring this unit around the flank. This unit's gonna go straight up the pipe. You're gonna come in here. You're gonna come around the flank. Bring these chameleons around here. Bring these chameleons around back here. Keep the horned ones hidden until late phase. Come on, get in there. Then let's drop a big Curse of the Midnight Wind on this big thing over here. And then we're going to throw down a buff here. And I'm going to go ahead and charge my Terror Causer over into this mess. And let's throw this back here, which is going to cause a good amount of damage to those smattering groups. Not the best angles. Alright, so we're going to just come in here and try and do some damage. Looks like I'm trying to look for like a big blotch of dwarves. Send in the warriors here. Send in the warriors here. We're just going to keep doing what damage we can to Thorgrim. Pop of the leadership debuff. Kroxigors are doing well. Okay, we're going to fall back now because he's bringing in the hammerers. And now is a good time to bring out these guys to come up the rear because he's gotten rid of the bodyguard. I'm going to run away with good old Mazda here. And we're going to throw down another one of these buffs on the Kroxigors. And we got a nice fat group of Saurus, or dwarves there, so we're going to drop that. Send back these skinks back in to cause a bit more of a mess. I'm going to go in on the Grumbling Guard here. The Saurus are doing a good job of tearing up the cannon. We're going to wheel these guys around, take care of this. Let's see. Let's throw down a nice leadership bubble here. Cannon is shattered. Thorgrim's getting melted. No ranged units. I don't really think the dwarf player stood a chance in the beginning. Throw down another Curse of the Midnight Wind. Once these guys are shattered, we can bring these guys around a bit more. Let's throw down a leadership buff on this unit of Kroxigor. Alright, we shattered this group, so now we're going to bring around the Horned One Riders, who should be able to just delete the Grumbling Guard. Or Thorgrim. Let's have them go ahead and finish off Thorgrim. I'm going to aim here. Send in the Kroxigors. They should be able to finish him off no problem. Get you on that Runesmith. Let's throw down this over on the Kroxigors. Bring these guys around back. And we're going to charge them in against the Peak Gate Guard. So far, they're doing really well. They haven't taken any casualties. I'm trying to look for a place where there's a big dwarf contingent. Not really any, but I think we've got this. Am I gonna grab BattleTech? It looks really good. I don't know. I heard a streamer I really like talking about it, but I haven't actually seen any gameplay. I still need to do that. All right, so this is the real test for these guys, is against these Peak Gate Guard. That's not an easy matchup for them. Let's go ahead and send these Kroxigor in as a rear guard here. Ooh, that batch of Slayers looks like they could use a good Ruination of Cities in their life. Ooh, if I can get that down fast enough. Okay. Okay, good. That prevented me from taking as much damage as I would have. Let's go ahead and bring the Skink Rider down to help this fight down here. We're going to keep on them. We're going to keep on them. Yeah, the Horned One Riders are doing really well. The real problem, of course, is the Slayers, but that's what the Saurus are for. Saurus are really good anti-Slayer units. I'm just going to throw down a Banishment. Try and do some more damage. The battle's over. It's just a matter of killing them all. Alright, so that went well. We beasted through that dwarf army pretty well. Wasn't quite the test I was hoping for. I was hoping he'd have some range units so I could practice my Horned One Cavalry. Because I think against dwarves, they're actually going to be an exceptionally powerful unit if you can prevent them from getting deleted. Which that's the real question, is if they're going to get deleted or not. Let's see. Drew. Yeah, so the Southern Norskins are actually moderately civilized in the Warhammer lore, but as we went into 8th edition and things became more chaotic and the end times was coming on and all that crazy shit, that completely went out the window. I think in the Total War universe, it's, you know, it's chaos is on the rise, and and the Norskins can tell the end times is coming, so no, unfortunately there's not any peaceful ones. Joalulu, hello. Also, hello, Drew. Hello here. Cold Rage already said hi to you, I think. Misha, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. So overall kills, Mazda Mundi kicked ass, took names. Sor Scarvet did really well. He took practically no damage despite being in the fight for a long time. Saurus did exceptionally well against this low-tier infantry. They're going to trade much better. Hello, Lord Wench. The PK Guard did okay. Once the Horned ones got 2 chevrons from kills. So, I mean, clearly they tore the PK Guard up a notch or two, and they killed Thorgrim. And the Kroxigors, of course, without Slayers, there's no way for dwarves to deal with Kroxigors efficiently. Hello, Joe Miller. Tristan, Sotek, are you always passively working towards new lore videos? Kind of both. I'm always working on a new script, but if something really interesting comes out, like the Tomb King's release, I will sometimes push aside what I was working on. I'll put it on the back burner and do like an immediate thing on something interesting, and then I will go back to working on what I was working on. And yeah, the next thing I'm working on, which I've been pretty open about, is Carrick 8 Peaks Week, where it's going to be 5 days of lore, which if you're a patron, you'll get them as they're done. So like Belagar's the first one that's being worked on, and it's nearing completion, and when it finishes, I'm just going to drop it immediately for patrons. But for everyone else, they have to wait until the other 4 videos are done. And then when all of them are finished, they're going to drop together. Alright, we're fighting Christopher Wallace, another dwarf player, apparently. So this is a good chance to try another experiment. So once again, we're going to go with... Hey, you know what? I'm actually going to try something cheaper. Let's try Krokkar on foot. Yep, we'll keep all these as skills. Then for magic, let's take a Priest of... let's see, which of these spell loadouts do I like more? Okay, I think I'm going to go with Heavens. So we can take Curse of the Midnight Wind, Harmonic Convergence. I don't think Wind Blast is going to be worth it. We'll keep Chain Lightning as just in case. We're going to keep him on foot, get rid of Rolling Sky. Actually, you know what? No, let's put him on an Ancient Stegodon. That'll work. Then we want a Skink Chief on a Pterodon to just cause some havoc in the air. Then we want about 3 units of Saurus, about 3 units of Skinks, 2 units of Skirmishers at least, 1 unit of Horned One Riders, 2 units of Kroxigors if I can afford it. Let's downgrade you to a medium Stegodon, get that 2nd unit of Kroxigors. Then with our leftover money of 52... I could put a rank on the Horned Ones. I'd really rather not. I'd rather put it on something else. Let's see how much that puts me at 19. That'll put me. Yeah, I think that'll be a slightly better. Oh, he switched to Wood Elves, which didn't restart the timer. We're gonna go ahead and dodge. I'm not gonna fight someone who's. That's weird. If you switch your faction, that's supposed to restart the timer. But we're not gonna fight someone who switches their faction at the last 3 seconds. Clearly he's trying to cheat for victory, which isn't going to happen in tourney, so we're not going to do that. If someone's going to fight us, they're going to need to fight fair. So Christopher Wallace, wherever you are, you sir are a dick, and you should feel bad because you're a piece of shit. Switching your faction at the last second to try and confuse people and get them to lose to you is a really shitty thing to do, and you should feel bad. I hope whoever you are, you get this message. You're a piece of crap. Hello. I don't know who you are, but hello. Chill Flow. Did you notice that Thanko regrets getting noticed Gotrek and Felix? What? He didn't get noticed. Justin, I'm not quite sure if I understand the question. Do I think Thankwell will be a legendary lord? Yes, I think. So someone asked earlier what I think the Lord Pack lords are. Oh, Slaughter's in the stream. Oh man, that's funny. Well, he probably knows what we're gonna take, but that's okay. I'm more than happy to let him try and predict and beat me, because that will make things more interesting for me. And then keep that. And then do that, do that, do that. 3 of those, 2 of those, 1 of those, 2 of those. I'm missing something very important. What is? Oh, the skinks. 1, 2, 3 skinks. And then this time let's see, what does upgrading them even do? It increases all of their stats by 1. Is that the same for the Saurus? Yeah. So in that case, let's just do 1 and 1, and then we'll let him know we're ready when you are. Kind of thinking it might be better, instead of a chameleon or a skink in the air, to take a Saurus on a cold one, but the skink in the air is really cheap. So anyway, when people asked earlier who I think the Lord Pack will be that's coming up, I think it's either going to be Alariel and Helibron, or I think it's going to be Thankwell and Tenant-1, the Prophet of Sotek. Those have been my predictions for about 2 months now. Oh yeah, I'm sure Thankwell absolutely hates the fact that he was noticed by Gotrek and Felix, and that they constantly run into problems with him. Did Skarsnik contribute any more to the end times after his defeat by the Head Taker at 8 Peaks? No. So Queek made an arrangement with Skarsnik that Skarsnik would abandon Karek 8 Peaks if Queek brought him the head of Belagar, and that's exactly what happened. Queek killed Belagar, chopped off his head, brought it to Skarsnik, and Skarsnik held to his end of the bargain and left. And that's the last time we saw him. We do know that he planted a giant bomb in Karek 8 Peaks, but it didn't go off, which was the weirdest part of that story, honestly. Alright, so troop-wise, he has quite a few more troops than I did, so he went much wider, which is wise. Alright, we want skinks in front, Saurus behind. We're doing a very similar build to what we did earlier, just with a little different, because obviously our magic system is quite different. Hopefully he brought a slightly more conventional army. We've got Krokar on foot, who may not be the best choice because of his anti-large, but that's why we're experimenting today. I'm not playing the tourney for like another week, so I've got time. And we want to hide these guys behind this hill, and then have them come over, hopefully go through this ditch, and then come around the side and get the dwarves, especially if they've got war machines. We don't want to run right at them. And then we'll move up the Saurus a little bit more. Put Krokar back a little bit, and then we're going to put these guys in a control group, and we're going to put these guys with Krokar in a control group. And then we've got our priest with a giant bow, which we probably won't be using too much. I just want the Stegodon itself. And then we've got, of course, our 2 skirmisher units. Why is the end time such garbage, and do you think Grail Knights are as strong as they are meant to be in the lore versus Total War? I can tell you Grail Knights are much stronger and closer to what they are meant to be than they were in Tabletop. That's for damn sure. Alright. Okay, so we're just going to run right at them. Send in the skinks. Send in the Stegodon. Send in the flyer, and we're going to bring the Cav. We're going to bring them wide around. He doesn't have any war machines, but he does have 3 units of Slayers. That's a smart pick. He's got 2 units of Thunderers, which are really good for anti-dinosaur stuff, especially with like Croxagors. Okay, he's gonna put some shots into the skinks. Not a terrible idea. Alright, and we're just gonna have our skinks try and take up as much space as they can along this front line. Alright, and he's got these guys in the center here. We're gonna go ahead and tell our Stegodon to go melee here. Let's drop down a large one of these. So we bring in the Saurus. Looks like he's dropped. Okay, he's marked by Ulthar here, so we want to avoid getting hit by these guys as much as possible. We're going to go ahead and commit these skinks to melee where we can. And have them just plug up the line. We're going to bring the Stegodon around this way. We're going to bring this skink back over here. Really nice charge. This is kind of a big cluster. I'm going to go ahead and drop that. We're going to bring in the Stegodon since it's fairly safe now. And we're going to throw a big fat chain lightning right into this pack. Hopefully that'll do some damage. Yeah, they did okay damage. Probably not as much as I was hoping for, but not a bad amount. Alright, let's go ahead and fall back these guys. We're going to have them charge into these folks on their way out. Have the Stegodon slam into that unit of Thunderers. We're having some trouble disengaging here. We're going to bring this little Pterodon dude around this way. And let's drop a boulder. And we want to get our Stegodon back here into the core. Alright, we've gotten rid of this group. Good job. Now we're going to go after this group. Stegodon's going to come plowing into this mess. Let's drop a Harmonic Convergence over here. Grab some buffs. We're going to have our Pterodon Rider go melee and dive down here. Oh, maybe not just yet. We're going to bring these guys around here. Dive them into Bugmans. Okay, the horned ones have gone enragey now. So we're going to dive into the Thunderers to take them offline. We've got Saurus in the back line. We're going to have them engage these units of Dwarf Warriors. We're going to get this Skink Rider out of here. And we're going to keep pursuing these ranged units until they're completely shattered. We don't quite have any more magic up yet. Let's go ahead and throw some healing onto those. We're going to come back down here into this fight. We're going to turn off melee and resume shooting at the Thunderers. The battle line is going okay. We're going to bring out our Stegodon, and the Croxgors have done a really good job mopping up this line. We're going to see if we can bring them out through the back, hopefully. And, okay, we can. We're just going to bring them over here into the Grumbling Guard. And I'm going to bring these guys around, or this Stegodon around into them. We're going to send Krokgar after Ungrim, and we're going to send the Saurus more into the back line to make a mess. We got to get that skink out of here. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Let's see if we can't turn these guys on melee stance and shut down these Rangers. We're going to bring these Saurus back to get on these Slayers and hopefully shut them down. Okay, great. We shattered that unit with these skinks. Great job, guys. Okay, the Slayers are recommitting to this fight, so we're just going to kind of fly around and try and be a general annoyance. This unit's about to shatter, and the Horned ones have recovered from their enrage, which is great. We really want to get these Saurus back on the Dragonback Slayers. That's a big deal. We're going to fly down on top of this group here. Krokgar is dueling Ungrim. We're going to throw off an explosion to buy me maybe a little bit of time to get out of here. We're going to save up our magic for another Curse of the Midnight Wind if we can. Let's bring in these skinks here. Saurus are on the Slayers now. Okay, we won this fight. We're going to bring the Saurus back around this way, and we're going to bring the Horned One Riders back around this way. Horned One Riders, we're going to bring around and try and get a good charge. We're going to bring the Saurus over here. We're going to bring these guys around and dive into the Thunderers and try and tear them apart. We've got other units rallying that we're going to bring over here. Some of these are skinks. We're going to send them after enemy dwarf units that are fleeing the battlefield in an attempt to get them off the battlefield. Our Stegodon is... that's not our Stegodon. Our Stegodon here is doing okay. I'm going to go ahead and pop a heal on myself. And we did get Curse of the Midnight Wind, which we're going to drop here to lower the melee attack and melee defense of everyone present. We're going to drop our physical resist buff, and we're going to get away from Ungrim. He's not the fastest dude, so we should hopefully be able to put some distance between him and us. These Slayers are going down slowly but surely. These skinks are gonna just keep running those dwarves off. We get a nice charge there. Krokgar's got to get out of here. Okay, good. Krokgar broke free. Ungrim is going to be a problem, but hopefully we can beat him just through sheer numbers. He's a little isolated out here, so I will be able to hit him with poison darts. So we're going to try that. Alright, we get a nice break here. We're going to have the skinks chase off these dwarf warriors. I'm going to bring my... oop. We don't want the horned ones fighting slayers. Okay, we're going to bring this big old stegodon into this mess. We're going to rally our horned ones and try and get some more breaks going on. Krokgar is hopefully going to rally. If I have my Flying Pterodon, which I do, I'm going to go try and rally him with the leadership buff. We've got some more Saurus here that we're going to bring into this back line. We get a really nice charge by the Horned One Riders into the Dwarf melee infantry. Krokgar has rallied, and we've got an unused Cold Blood, so he's just going to kind of sit here and heal up for a minute. We've got this guy here, and we're going to just start shooting darts at Ungrim and try and wear him down. The Slayers are on their last leg, and this is the final unit of them, so once they go down, they're out. The Horned One Riders have a really high leadership bonus, and they are just fighting tooth and nail. We're going to have them fall out and chase after fleeing enemy units. We don't want to engage Ungrim until the very end. We want to save him for last. Alright, so the Dwarf army is completely shattered, so now we're going to have everyone just pile in on Ungrim and do their damned best to kill him. GG! Yeah, Thanquil has recently returned to the Age of Sigmar universe, which is really exciting. A lot of us are really happy to see him back, myself included. Thanquil is a staple character of Warhammer Fantasy, and everything associated with it, and it's not the same without him, and I for one, am really glad that he's back. Alright, so we're just going to do everything we can to kill Ungrim here, just going to have everybody mash on him. These Horned One Riders are performing really well. Like, they have Rampage, but they only Rampage for a limited time, and then it seems like they just kind of stop. Which is really nice. So let's send them in here to see if they can help us finish off dear Ungrim, and we can just catch a cinematic shot of him just kind of fighting the bitter end. I don't even know where he is. Ungrim? Oh, there he is. He's down there buried in lizard. A Lord duel. Everybody, back off. I saw this too late, but I accept. These two can just duke it out. We're not in a big rush today. We're just here to have fun. I'm pretty sure Krokgar's going to lose this. He's designed against any large. Oh, man. Krokgar, no. Get him, Krokgar. Get... Oh, he broke. All the sad face. All right, wrap this up. Alright, so the Horned One Riders are performing surprisingly well for the Dwarf matchup. They don't rampage as bad as I thought they would. Our opponent did concede after I fulfilled his desire for a lord off. Krokgar, spoiler, is not the ground lord to take against Ungrim. You should take the generic lord. Yeah, we got 152 kills and 2 chevrons on the Horned Ones. I kind of wish they had silver shields instead of bronze shields, but they performed the best out of anything in my army, and they massacred the dwarf line. There was not a single dwarf unit they did not butcher, including a lot of the slayers. Of course, dwarves are going to be much better against lizardmen in the near future because they are getting the confirmed giant slayer unit, which is a super badass unit that I'm very excited for, and is going to make the dwarf meta a lot more competitive than it already was. By just allowing them to counteract stuff like this. Like, the dwarves didn't have a great way to deal with the Horned Ones because they have such high armor, I think of 110, that the Horned Ones just were able to just run Ramshackle. And once I took his ranged units offline with the dinosaurs and the Horned Ones, there was nothing he could do. But the Chain Lightning did really well. I honestly think next time I probably won't take it. I'm probably just going to take buff spells on the Lord of Heavens. I'm just going to take Harmonic Convergence and Curse of the Midnight Wind. And just use it to bolster my line. Dwarf players tend not to avoid blob fights. So it's probably better to allow them to blob and then use Curse of the Midnight Wind. I might try switching out Chain Lightning for Comet and see if Comet gives me better armor-piercing damage. But I felt really good with this build. I think I like it more than with Mazda Mundi. It's about the same price, but I'm not as worried with my caster, with like Mazda Mundi getting singled out like he would the Skink Priest. But I don't know, we might try it depending on different players, but I felt really good about it. Only thing I would do different is switch out Krokgar. And just for anyone that's wondering, we are just playing Lizardmen today. Like, I'm just playing Lizardmen, for practice, because for Lionheart's tournament, Lizardmen are the only team I get to play with. So we're just doing Lizard games today. What happened to Carl Franz after the end times and Age of Sigmar? We don't know. We don't know. There's a lot of theories, but it has not been confirmed. All right, we're fighting Karn, who sounds like a Warriors of Chaos player. So we're gonna go ahead and switch to Lizardmen and see what he counterpicks. All right, he's going as Tomb Kings. Okay, what a great, interesting matchup. So let's try Krokgar. I am really bad with Krokgar, so I need to practice with him. There's really no Tomb King option that Krokgar is not valuable against. Probably the most dangerous option he could take would be Archon the Black on a Chariot, just because he'd be annoying to catch. Let's see. We want a Skink Chef on a Flyer. That way, if he does have a Chariot Lord, I can pursue him with great prejudice. Then, oh wow, he's already ready to go. Trying to think between Beast. Beast is good for. I kind of want to experiment with Beast, so let's try. Let's drop Curse of Anra here. Transformation. Let's drop. Let's keep everything else, and then we're gonna grab the Cube of Darkness. Then I'm gonna grab 2 units of Temple Guard, 3 units of Skinks. Let's grab 2 units of Skink Skirmishers. Let's grab a. Let's see. Let's grab a unit of Pterodons. Let's grab a Bastiladon. Let's grab some Spearosaurus, and then. Oh boy. I don't have enough time. Grab the Temple Guard. Just mash Chevron. Yeah. As close as it's gonna get. Lizardmen are my favorite. Yes. Lizardmen are easily my favorite. I saw someone asking for Bretonnian lore. Only curious Sotex Bretonnian lore. What's a piece of interesting Bretonnian lore that I could pull out of my hat? So did you know that in Bretonnian lore, the only mention of Duke Albrecht, who's a playable character here in Total War Warhammer, the only mention of him is due to the fact that his kingdom hosted essentially a holiday, and during said holiday, he authorized wine or drink to be distributed to the peasants in celebration of something. And the peasants got incredibly drunk, and it ended up resulting in a giant riot from the peasants. And because of it, it made Albrecht look really bad, because it made him look like he could not handle his peasants. And because of that, his dukedom was forever made fun of for essentially being a bunch of, for having a bunch of drunk peasants who don't do their work and having an incompetent lord who would allow that in the first place. That's the only thing he's famous for. Is that he's like regularly embarrassed because his peasants are a bunch of goofballs. Which, you know, of course, once they started rebelling and were getting a little out of control, he proceeded to almost immediately have them put down, so to speak. But still. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of throw some shit all over the place until I am readily established. Alright, so we're gonna have this bunch as dropping Krokgar as just one big control group. Then we're going to have our skinks together. The skinks who fight together stay together. And then we'll put all the pterodons together and Solar Engine right there. And boom. Alright. Okay, so he's kind of distributed in a different spot. Let's go here so I can have a guarded flank. We're going to go ahead. I don't see any flyers, so we're going to go ahead and start harassing Archon the Black. We're going to send out our skinks here to start harassing Archon the Black. Skirmishers can come out this way. These skirmishers can come out this way to help counter the enemy cav. We're also going to commit one unit of skirmishers to help. Krokgar's going to come stomping around this way to help us deal with the very large construct problem. And we're basically just going to throw a bunch of shit at Archon and see what sticks. He is weak to flame damage, so this is going to hurt him slowly. On top of that, I didn't bring... Oh, wait, no, I didn't bring Amber Spear. I do want to experiment with Amber Spear this game, but I've kind of got to wait for him to get into the right position. We're going to go ahead and have the Temple Guard get aggressive here, pull the skinks around this way, tell the Solar Engine to shoot Archon the Black. Looks like he fired off a Spirit Leech here. That's not a big deal. We're going to leave our skinks there in guard. We're going to move up these Temple Guard here. I am more than happy to sacrifice those skinks to keep that stupid thing distracted. We're going to move up the Spearsaurus, have these Saurus fall back. Let's go ahead and drop a Wizen's Wild Form down on the Temple Guard, nothing too committal. Then we're going to fire an Overcast Amber Spear at Archon. Never mind. He's dying. We're going to wait until he kind of gets into a slightly more interesting position. Let's go ahead and commit the skinks to this fight. Those are Necrocarn Horsemen. That's not going to go well. Archon is getting absolutely deleted right now. Go ahead and commit the Temple Guard into that fight. Have the skinks come around to help. Let's go ahead and surround some of these units. Let's try and make it at least a little difficult for him to get on some of my stuff. Skinks here can shoot there. Skinks in the back line are doing what they can. Archon's almost dead. We're going to go ahead and run in here and jump on this. I don't know why the Solar Engine's facing that way. I want him back there. We're going to have the skink fight and fire an Overcast Amber Spear into the Necrosphinx. See if it does anything. Does it stick? He literally miscasted and knocked himself over. So, inconclusive testing. Inconclusive testing. Alright, Archon's in that fight, trying not to die. We're going to throw an Overcast Kaka in here. And I am taking so much damage from miscasting. I'm going to drop this on Archon, which is going to make it harder for him to regenerate. The birds are just doing their job. We're going to go ahead and commit some Spearsaurus to help deal with this giant scorpion problem. Krokgar, I'm going to go ahead and commit him to helping to deal with this stupid Necrosphinx. We're going to throw down Pants Impenetrable Pelt on the Bastillodon here, which is going to give it physical resist. We're going to also drop a heal on it to make it a little more stable. We're going to make sure these guys all stay very aggressive on Archon the Black. Don't fall back, just keep shooting at him. We want to do what damage we can, and that thing is coming right for us. We're going to go ahead and fall back a little bit, throw down a Wizen's Wild Form on Krokgar to increase his melee damage to the nth degree. Fucking Archon is getting deleted over here. We got another big Flock of Doom, which we're going to throw down over here. If I can afford this... Okay, Archon the Black is dead. That's fantastic news. We're now going to bring our skinks around and our pterodons to start dropping shit on the Necrosphinx to help us bring it down as quickly as possible. Because of the physical resist, the Bastillodon was easily able to take out that fight. The skinks cohorts are beating the Necrocarn Horsemen in a fist fight, which is fantastic news. We're going to go ahead and get this guy out of here, and we're going to fire a fat Amber Spear right into this guy's face, see if it does any damage. Yeah, that did some damage. Great job there. We're going to turn and start firing shots over into this big old squad here. Have these skinks fall further back, make them as much of a nuisance as humanly possible. Krokgar, get back in there, fire off an explosion. We're going to use our Hand of the Gods in just a moment. Let's turn around and start firing some lasers where we can into the right target. He doesn't have any more magic, so the Cube of Darkness is kind of useless at this point, but that's really alright. We're going to turn on the Runaway skill, so our skinks will continue to fall back here. This skink priest, we're just going to leave here until he proceeds to notice me, which hopefully won't be soon. Krokgar is going to be able to cut down this Necrosphinx. Yep, there it goes. It's starting to crumble, and it's down. So now we're going to turn our attention onto this Scorpion. I can't use my Hand of the Gods on it if I'm in melee with it, so I'm just going to keep fighting until it goes out of melee with me. We're going to transition the skink to focus down the tomb prince, send in the Saurus here. The Nehakarn horsemen did win this battle, but they are considerably more expensive than my skinks, so that was a huge win for me that they kept them that busy. We're going to go ahead and try and fall back Krokgar a little bit here and see if I can pull back enough to blast these tomb scorpions who look like they're about to start crumbling. Okay, we do get away, so we're going to turn and throw down an explosion. That is an Nishabti summon. So I'm going to fall back here with my priest, and he's going to hopefully fire his stupid thing. Shoot! Shoot it! Great! That did a ton of damage. Absolutely deleted that model. I'm going to run in here now and finish it off. We're going to run the skink around here a little bit more. Let's go ahead and throw down this on these Temple Guard, make them a little bit more resilient. I'm going to come in here and kill this Necrotect who's holding its army together. We're going to have these Pterodons swoop over here and go in for a rear charge on these easier to kill models. We're going to go ahead and commit the Skink Priest into battle because we don't really need him out here. Let's go ahead and attack these Ushabti, throw down a little thing here. Swoop in. Oh wait, no, don't swoop in. We're going to fly over them and drop rocks on these Tomb Guard. Awesome. That did like 500 damage. I wasn't really 100% looking. We're going to commit a lot of guys here to this fight. We're going to come in and have everyone jump on these Ushabti. Okay, maybe not. We're going to focus instead on these halberds. I'm going to bring Krokgar back a little bit. We're going to turn around this thing and start shooting at the Tomb Scorpion to lower its melee attack and also do some nice fire damage to it. I'm going to pop this for the speed buff and dive in on this Tomb Scorpion to tear it a new asshole. We're going to have the skink up here focus down the Ushabti. We get a nice charge on that Tomb Scorpion, and we're absolutely tearing it up. We're going to go ahead and post that. Alright. And that is game. Hooray! I have no idea why he didn't take Ushabti with great bows. They can be, generally I think they're pretty good against the Lizardmen. They can run into problems if the Lizardman player decides to take something like Cold One Cav or a notable skink force. Game went well. The Temple Guard performed amazingly. They got a stupid amount of kills. They were easily more than capable of holding off everything in this army. The only thing that was even remotely a threat to them was Archon using Fate of Buna and maybe Tomb Scorpions, but other than that, easy. The Fire Leech Bolas and the Skink Chief deleted Archon off the face of the earth. Krokgar did extremely well. We were able to put that Necrosphinx in a can because he tried to take out the Solar Engine, which you do need to do as the Tomb Kings, because if he starts shooting Archon, he can do so much damage. Archon can, you can actually hurt Archon really efficiently with a Lizardman army, but felt really good about that game. The Nehakarn Horsemen, surprisingly, were very easily held off by Skink cohorts. That's something to keep in mind for my future games, is even though he got a charge on me, and granted I did get a counter charge, the Skinks held him for minutes, which was very impressive. Adam, it is, Otavio is correct that Bretonnian ships do have cannons. Bretonnians, they have a very, they have a very strong view that ships, or that black powder weapons are very unchivalrous, but there is kind of a special exemption when it comes to the sake of ships, and the Bretonnian Navy is one of the most powerful in the world, but that's because they're willing to use cannons on their ships. But you often don't find, but it doesn't help that they also tend to employ knights who ride Pegasi to help protect their ships as well. But Bretonnian Navy, you'll find tons of cannons. Tons of cannons. Very dangerous Navy. Alright, but that was a great game for us. Yeah, dwarves don't care much for the ocean. They have a single settlement that is a exception to the rule. The dwarves of Barak Var are considered very strange by the rest of their kin because they're actually okay with being on the ocean. But even then, they hated having a brain fart. What was it talking about? Oh, right. Even then, dwarves really hate ships made out of wood. The dwarves of Barakvar get nervous, as most dwarves do, on the ocean if they're on a wooden boat, because they see it as a very unreliable material. But an ironclad, like a nice metal ship, oh yeah, they're fine. You know, Val, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to reread some stuff. I'm not. I could have sworn that Bretonnians do keep gunpowder on their ships, but now I'm not 100% certain. I'll need to check some stuff. The Bretonnians are indeed hypocrites. They have a lot of problems. They have a lot of problems. There are a few things more hypocritical than Bretonnians because of their whole, like, if you read what chivalry entails, a lot of them are not very chivalrous. Because they're dicks or what have you. Alright, so we're fighting dwarves again. They seem to be very popular on ladder right now. So we're going to try a different build. We're going to run a Saurus Oldblood on foot this time. With most of his upgrades, I don't think we're going to need Foe Seeker, but we will take Standard Ground, the Horn of Kygor, which is super fun, and the Amulet of Itzel. Then we're going to run pretty straightforward, similar builds. So we're going to take a Skink Priest of Heavens, pop him on a Stegodon. We're going to drop everything except this time we're going to keep Comet instead and see how that does. No, none of these items will help. Skink Priest, if you don't know, actually have really powerful anti-wizard items, but in this case they're not going to help us. And then, of course, we need our Pterodon Chief, who's just a terror in the night. Then we're going to take 3 units of Saurus, 3 units of Skink Skirmishers, or 3 units of Skink Cohorts, 2 units of Skink Skirmishers, 1 unit of Horned Ones, and 2 units of Kroxigors. And then with our remaining funds that we've saved from switching off of Krokgar, we can afford not a lot. We can afford to rank up some units. We could switch out some units for potentially stronger versions. Can I afford to get a big Stegodon? No, I can't afford to get a big Stegodon. We could afford... Could get Skinks with Javelins, but I don't really think that's worth it. We could drop a Kroxigor and get up a Stylodon with Rev Crystal, but he's really slow, and I like having a fast portion of the army and then a secondary portion. Let's for this, let's go ahead and try just ranking up our Saurus a couple times to make them a stronger front line. And then with the remaining 28... Actually, you know what? I almost think it would be better to level up... No, the Saurus is the most sturdy part of the line. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to D-rank this one, and then I can spread out... let's see, how much are you? 39, 51, and that actually makes a pretty notable difference on these guys, but that's going to knock me back down to 10. 21 is going to take me down to 19, but these units I don't really... What goes up on them? Their missile damage, their melee defense, and their leadership. Alright, just for shits and giggles, we'll try this. Alright. Yeah, I did use Mazdamundi the first game. We're gonna come back to him pretty soon because we're gonna be trying Mazdamundi versus the generic Old Blood when it comes to dwarves and see which one works better. I honestly think Mazdamundi's gonna be better, but we'll see. Oh no, I've got like a sore on my lip, and it's just in the beginning stages, but I can already tell that it's right on the edge of my lip. I can tell in a few days if that doesn't go away overnight, that's gonna hurt before it gets better. Alright, see you, Cold Rage. Have a good one. Yeah, something like a cold sore. When precisely is my Blood Bowl game? My opponent said 11 p.m. and I was like, oh, cool. But then he neglected to mention what time zone he was in. So, I don't really know. How many troops are we up against? Okay, so it's about the same. Looks like a lot of the dwarf players are taking pretty similar armies. I wonder if there's some popular player who did a meta recently. He's got a lot of copycats. Alright, so we want these guys as group 1. And then we've got our Saurus contingent to be group 2. And then we want our skink skirmishers far out to the flanks so that I can get around the back and potentially start harassing war machines or slayers. And then our horned ones, can I get them in this forest? Like in a hidey way? Yes, I can. Okay, great. So we're going to hide the horned ones at the start, and then we can slip them around the bottom of this hill and around the back, which will be good. Then, of course, we've got our flying pterodon, and then we've got our skink priest. Yeah, Morgana Le Fay was made into, is the Fey Enchantress, who is Morgiana Le Fay. But she's not a bitch like Morgana was. At least not to most people. She can be cruel and mean, or at least appear to be so. But it's ultimately because she's trying to protect her people. Alright, so we've got some weird dwarf shenanigans over here. We've got Norcomle's Ironbreakers, which is a good target to kind of pump some shots with my great bow into. I don't see any ranged units just yet, so we're going to go ahead and just sort of move around his army and see what the deal is here. Okay, over here we've got a lot of rangers. A lot of rangers. Goodness gracious, look at this. Let's go ahead and send this contingent over this way to just mop this up. That's a lot of points that we can destroy. I'm going to go investigate further over here. We're going to have our skinks kind of follow these guys off. And these dwarves are running right into a trap and don't even realize it. If I spread out these guys wide enough, we should be able to just jump on the center group and just tear them in half. Alright, we have located Ulthar's Rangers. Okay. So I'm going to fall back out of their range. And once I'm safely out of their range, I'm just going to shoot Ungrim a bunch of times while I'm waiting. Alright, so we've slammed into them. We've engaged a lot of these enemy units. And then we're going to send 2 cohort units and a croc score unit into that mess. And then these 2 are going to go into this mess. The Saurus are going to continue on the warpath. I'm going to fall this guy back. Stegodon is not doing any damage, so we're just going to move up. Saurus are going to be able to tear these miners apart. We're going to go ahead and tell these skinks to melee stance just to take Bugmans offline for a bit. We're going to force the Croxlors through here. A lot of these rangers are getting torn apart, which is great, and they're immediately going off the field, which is even better. We're going to bring our Stegodon around here, and I don't think we need to overcast it just yet. We're just going to throw down a basic one. I'm going to blow the Horn of Kygor, and I'm going to turn to fight Ungrim and activate my this and this to make his life a little harder, and we're going to upgrade my guy to make him a little better. And we're going to do our best to disable a lot of these groups. I'm going to drop a rock right on top of these Norcomle's Ironbreakers. Alright, good. We've cleared off this group. We're going to bring this group around here. This group is shattered, so we're going to have them just go ham on them. Another mysterious unit has appeared. We're going to go melee stance and charge in here. Looking for a really nice place to drop a comet. Haven't really found one yet. We're going to have the Saurus gang up on Ungrim and help the Old Blood just kill him as quickly as possible. We're going to charge in our big old Stegodon here to make a mess. Waiting for these Hammers, or Grumbling Guard, to commit to a fight. And they're just kind of not doing it yet. Okay, these guys have rallied from being rampagey, which is awesome for us. Okay, he has committed to a fight now. We're going to drop a fat comet right on top of him. This fight's going really, really well for us. Of course, he's got rangers coming in, which is a little annoying, but that's okay. We can deal with it.
Our skink chief, we're gonna fly down into these. Let's fly him down into Ulthar's Raiders here to make a mess. We're gonna charge these guys in here. Comet kind of missed. We're gonna have him help tear them up, tear them a new butt, and then we're going to throw down a buff on the Saurus Warriors here. We're gonna charge this Stegodon in, just keep making a mess. Go ahead and use a healing proc. Bugman's Rangers should get torn apart by this little mess. We're going to have the Skinks focus on these miners. These guys chased off this unit. Fantastic. Ungrim Iron Fist is dead. Even more fantastic. We're going to keep fighting here. Send these Skinks around to engage with the enemy unit over here. We're going to send the Stegodon forward to go Stompy Stomp. And we're going to send out these Horn 1 Riders to do the same. And we're going to send out these Skink Rider to do the same. We're going to drop another Cold-Blooded over on the Old Blood. Make him a little bit more durable while he continues in this fight. Everyone else is just going to kind of keep doing the job. You guys, good job. You shattered that group. Press F for meme build. It was an interesting build. I could actually see that being really dangerous. He messed up in that... well, he didn't mess up. He got unlucky that I had guys over here that saw him. But that's pretty much game. I'm not too worried about anything else. We're just going to sort of use our Croxagors to tear up the Grumbling Guard and finish them off. They're going to get absolutely butchered. Drop the Horn of Kygor again. We're going to drop a little healing on this Saurus Warrior unit to give them a little bit more courage. Horn 1 Riders are doing their job. Stegodon's doing his job. Let's throw a heal over on these Saurus to make them a little more efficient. And these Bugman Rangers are getting torn apart. This is not a good matchup for Bugmans. The regen is nice, but they don't have armor-piercing great weapons, and they're just getting torn apart. Oh, he shattered. Dang, I wanted to talk to him some more. Oh well. I keep hitting my push-to-talk button and forgetting that I don't need to do that. Alright. I have some moves tonight, I do. I'm on my A game tonight. It feels like, anyway. Another great amount of kills by the Horn Riders, and they got 3 chevrons, tearing up that dwarf backline. That was actually a really fun army. I actually think it really had solid potential to work, but I think the problem was I spotted a half of it, or a third of it, which I was able to instantly take offline, and that was the great weapon half. So I was able to completely eliminate his best thing against the Lizardmen, and I was able just to ignore the Bugmans. Bugman's Rangers do not perform as well against Lizardmen. They don't have the armor piercing they need. The Croxagors were at full health. The Horn 1 Riders were still at half health, or half model count, rather. The Saurus did pretty well. Ungrim got absolutely destroyed by the Old Blood with all of his buffs. See, what's chat arguing about? Age of Sigmar? Okay, so here's the thing with Age of Sigmar. No one can. I don't think it will ever be, at least not in any time soon. It will never be fair to go to a person who played and loved Warhammer Fantasy and tell them that they're like ridiculous for hating Age of Sigmar. I honestly believe that they kind of have every right to hate Age of Sigmar because it is what replaced their setting. And I think the reason I say that is because it wasn't like Age of Sigmar was like a recreation of fantasy, or that Age of Sigmar was even like a distant future to fantasy where like you see little callbacks. But instead, it was kind of more of a situation where the End Times was such a botched operation that Warhammer Fantasy not only was assassinated, but then its corpse was horribly mutilated, various parts were pulled out of it, and that was used to create the opening of Age of Sigmar, which made Age of Sigmar into this horrible, horrifying abomination that a lot of people were disgusted by and hated. However, I think in the last 2 years that Age of Sigmar has been out, which of course is its entire existence, the longer it's been out, the more of a phenomenal job it's done to build its own universe and to be a really interesting setting in and of its own right with its own unique factions. I do think that it kind of has a weakness in that it still has a lot. It still relies really heavily on fantasy IPs, like actual characters, in order to kind of like build a lot of its strength right now. That's the ultimate weakness of Age of Sigmar, is that when you explain Age of Sigmar right now, it's really difficult to explain it and not bring up Warhammer Fantasy a lot. You have to talk a shitload about Warhammer Fantasy for anyone to understand what's going on in Age of Sigmar right now. There's not a whole lot of... Age of Sigmar hasn't been out long enough that it's hit its stride in the sense of that it's purely in a nutshell. Instead, it's more of a it's still kind of an amalgamate. But you know, with the Age of Sigmar with the Age of Sigmar roleplay game coming out and a bunch of other stuff, Age of Sigmar is finally starting to explore itself in a down-to-earth way. Because so far, my biggest beef with Age of Sigmar in its first few years was that they didn't. It was very difficult to learn anything about the world itself. Like you would hear about battles and locations and all this other stuff, but all of it, everything you were reading was absolutely meaningless because you had no concept of everything going on. Because the Empire. Hold on, I'll come back to this. I've got to build a list. All right, for the Empire, we want to take a high magic Slann because he's almost certainly going to have a flying lord. We're going to take both of these. Drop Fiery Convocation. We'll keep Arcane Unforging. Keep Tempest. Let's drop Soul Quench. Drop Hand of Glory. We'll keep all that. Then I'm going to need a Scarvet on... I don't think I need a Carnosaur. Let's just try a cold one. We'll take the Plaque of Dominion and that, and we're taking him as a bodyguard, and then of course the assassin skink. Then we want. Okay, I need this map. So we're gonna want some Saurus, a good amount of skinks. The Empire typically has a decent amount of anti-large. Let's try taking... Let's take a Rev Crystal, one unit of Temple Guard, another unit of Saurus, another unit of Temple Guard, and then we can do 2 units of Chameleon Skinks, and then we can change these Skinks to all be Skink cohorts. I think that'll work. That doesn't really give us a big stompy dinosaur, but I think big stompy dinosaurs are kind of a that gives us a counter to Pistoliers and Outriders. We've got healing to sustain us in a front line. We've got a pretty powerful front line. Though I'm not going to be able to make the super unit of Temple Guard that I normally like to. We've got Saurus Warriors with shields, and we've got good harass. We've got anti-flying between the Skink Chief and the Slann Mage Priest with high magic. We've got a Saur Scar Veteran for defense on the ground against large targets. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. So we're gonna put 2 chevrons. Let's do just 1 per, and then we can throw. Oh gosh, dang it! It costs 21 on these guys, but it only costs 18 on the normal ones, of course. 33. It's still gonna leave me with 10. I hate when I have too much gold left over. It drives me crazy. There, good enough. Alright. Quick question, do the ground marines have access... Oh, you mean the Stormcast? What I do outside of my YouTube channel, I am technically, I'm a little older, not compared to the other YouTubers. I'm actually kind of right in the middle or younger. I'm 26. I'm a student out of college. I left college for about a year, and now I'm kind of easing my way back into it, and it's kind of been up and down. But I'm working on a game design degree right now, and I recently applied for a job for Games Workshop at a new store they're opening in my area called, it's the first of its kind in the States, and it's called the Warhammer Citadel. And my interview process was literally, I applied, they called me in the very next day, or they called me for a phone interview the very next day. We had a great conversation. They called me in for a face-to-face interview the day after that. And now I'm just waiting to hear back from them. And today is Thursday, so I'm really hoping I hear back from them tomorrow. I'm a really nervous individual, so I would really like to get news that I made it and got a job that I would really, really enjoy. I would love to work for Games Workshop, just like I would love to work for Creative Assembly. But I feel like I need a lot more training to work for Creative Assembly. You know, like I need to know how to actually do video games. Yeah, hopefully I get it. That would be really nice. Alright. This guy seems polite. Let's see if his army is polite. Oh, he has a bunch of troops. Alright, let's see what he's got. Alright, we're going in. Everybody forward, everybody forward. Our chameleons, we're going to run around the back because they're nice and stealthed. What do we got gun-wise going on here? We've got great cannons. Many, many, many great cannons. Which just put a beating on my Slon. Holy crap. Let's actually run you a little bit next to it. Oh, those are some very accurate cannons. Did you rank them up? No, they're not ranked. They're just shooting really well. Alright, we're going to bring this guy around this way. We're going to have the chameleons come in here and just start throwing shit at these greatswords who don't have shields, so they will take a considerable amount of damage from it. He doesn't seem to have any cav, which is good for my skinks, because that kind of lets them do what they want to do with impunity. These spearmen also do not seem to have shields, so we're going to be able to get some really good volleys into them. And the Saurus line, we're just going to slam into him with the Wrath of God. Speaking of which, I need to heal my Slon here and kind of move him off to the side. We'll cast a bunch of little spells on him. We're just gonna spam healing abilities and have him float around. All right, he's bringing over guns to presumably shoot at my skinks and or Saurus. We're gonna try and slip in some skinks here. We're gonna bring these guys around the back, send in Temple Guard here, bring in the Saurus here, bring in the Temple Guard here, have these skinks fall back, bring the Saurus around the flank. Stick it on. We're gonna kind of bring it around this way. We're gonna have the he's casting a vortex there, so I'm gonna cast a shield to block a lot of its damage, and I'm going to counter with my own ability right here. We're gonna float in here. I'm gonna cast this on myself again. The skinks are running for their dear lives. I'm gonna throw down a banishment over here. We're gonna have the Saurus going on these guys. We're gonna have this guy come over here. Actually, we're going to get those swords in on those guns. We're going to have chameleons start throwing shit. I'm going to pop this to make myself a little more durable. Rev Crystal is not really in a position to do much. We're going to throw down another heal on the damn Slon because we just got to keep him alive right now. We're actually going to try and get him closer into the fray and see if that helps kind of fix the problem. He's not in a really good position. We're going to go ahead and have the Skink Chief kind of keep on the move here and just generally be a nuisance. He's doing a really good job protecting his back line for me, but we do have some Saurus breaking through that we're going to try and get on these cannons. I broke here. Slon is doing okay, not great, but okay. I'm almost at my healing cap because those cannons are absolutely wrecking my face. I'm going to go ahead and send this guy forward to mangle up some of these lines. We've got to get those cannons offline. We're going to have the Slon try and run jukes. We're going to send the Bastillon forward to try and help things here. I'm going to go ahead and throw down a heal on these guys. These guns really, 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 really hurt. I want to drop this here. We're going to have the Slon, he kind of fell back into a bit of an awkward position. We've got to take down these guns. We've got to take down these guns. So we're just going to do everything in our power to just kind of shut them down everywhere that they appear, bringing in soldiers everywhere they can be brought in. Gonna pop the potion of strength and all sorts of other goodies. Try and keep the Bastiladon on the move here. The Slon is dead. He absolutely got annihilated by those cannons. We should have brought Mazda Mundi or someone on foot, but really good take from my opponent when it comes down to that. General of the Empire is getting a bit deleted, which is fine by me. We're going to have the Bastiladon just keep kind of stomping people. Run this guy forward. We're going to drop this kind of leadership penalty aura. We're going to jump on this Light Wizard, I guess. Our front line has defeated his front line, which is good, but everything else is bad. I don't have as much of an army left as I need. Just going to have this guy keep slamming on this guy, have this guy pursue here. Saurus are doing well in this engagement. Just gotta keep fighting. We need to bring these Chameleon Skinks back. I didn't do a very good job micromanaging them. My opponent is a much better microer than I am. The Skink has rallied, so we're going to drop Cold-Blooded on him and have him fall back. This guy is starting to eat some gunfire. I need to get on the enemy general, and I need to be taking out these guns as best as I can. That Light Wizard hopefully will flee off the battlefield. I'm going to drop some life magic here. These guys have broken, so I'm going to fall back this way. We're going to have these Temple Guard try and push forward into this Spearman unit while these guys push here. These guns are so painful. We're going to push this guy forward, have the Bastiladon stay on these guys. You go after the enemy general. You got to take him down. Chameleon Skinks, help out where you can. Skinks here. We're going to run on these guns and try and take them down. We're going to run these guys in here. We're going to bring these Temple Guard in on these guys. Bring these guys in on the cannon. Have these Saurus jump in on this cannon. Have the Temple Guard take this group out. We're going to send this Chameleon Skink over to harass those Demigryphs as much as humanly possible. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to bring him over to deal with this guy. We're going to send the Chameleon Skinks in melee stance after the Bright Wizard. We've got to keep these guns busy. We got to keep these guns busy. Bring the Bastiladon around into this big block over here. Try and cause terror. As soon as this lightens up, I'm just going to keep rapid clicking as fast as I can. Okay, I'm free now. I'm going to go run out this way. We're going to bring these guys around into this little pocket here. We've got the Razordon diving into this little group here. I'm going to sneak up on top of this guy. Hopefully he doesn't notice me. We're going to go back into those halberds. I'm just going to keep shooting this Light Wizard and force him to flee. We're going to have the Skinks chase off these large groups of infantry and make sure they don't come back. Bastiladon is going to keep pursuing after these groups. We're going to keep pursuing after this group. We've shattered the enemy general. He is now dead. Scratch that. We're going to have these groups try and engage the Demigryphs. We're going to have you run there. You're going to keep on that Light Wizard. Saurus Scarvet is going to run over and engage the Demigryphs, as well as the Bastiladon, who's going to use his ability to heal the Temple Guard and knock them back up to full. And I think we got this, boys and girls. We're going to bring these Skinks around here this way. The Light Wizard is dead. He was shattered, but he's now dead. So the leadership structure is completely collapsed in on itself. The Skinks are doing a really good job just running everyone off the field. We're going to go ahead and tell our opponent a good game, because that is game. The only thing he's got left are those Demigryphs, which are just going to get put in a dumpster by our Temple Guard and large Saurus contingent, along with the Rev Crystal. What an excellent game, though. Really good Empire player. He absolutely destroyed my... absolutely annihilated my Slon Lord, but we made a really good comeback there. I'm going to see if I can save that replay. That was a good one. Actually, you know what? That's going to be the last game for today. I only wanted to practice for an hour. My goal is literally just an hour a day. So I'm going to get on for an hour every single day to live stream quick battles. But looking at the schematic, we didn't lose a game with our Lizardman today, which was fantastic. The Slon got absolutely deleted. He did a fantastic job focusing down the Slon. But unfortunately, in the process, I was able to get around him and shut him down. The Saurus did extremely well. The Temple Guard did extremely well. The Empire front line completely collapsed against them. The Greatswords traded pretty well with the Saurus, but at the end of the day, their leadership isn't high enough to sustain on their own. And the General of the Empire got absolutely deleted by the Saurus Scar Veteran, which is why I take him. And he also put a beating on the Light Wizard, and when the Skink Chief rallied, because he obviously had no flyers to chase him off, I was able to snipe the Light Wizard and get him off the field. Also, like Misha says, if y'all would consider hitting that like button if you're having a good time here, enjoying your debate, or just watching the game, or enjoy watching me play, that really helps out a lot. It's easy to do. All you do, click a thumbs up. It helps me out. It makes it easier for my stuff to show up, which means that YouTube is nicer to me and encourages me to stream more, which is always great. Yeah, Feral Cold Ones would make excellent backline harass. The problem is there's so few of them, they harass and they launch into rampage mode so easy. It's so difficult to maintain control. The Rev Crystal did extremely well this game. Our enemy focused so hard on the Slann that he didn't have the time left to focus on the Bastiladon, which, quite frankly, I think might have been what cost him the game. I think the Bastiladon should have been the first target due to its healing factor and its terror capability. It was the only terror causer in my entire army, and it provided me with a lot of healing. And that would have been a really powerful asset to my opponent to not be... Because a lot of these guys, you notice, are fairly high health still. And the only reason they were breaking is because of terror causing. And then they got chased off the field by skinks. And then, of course, we've got this random chameleon skink unit that I think is the one he chased off that I forgot about that came back at the end of the game. 111 kills. And I'm pretty sure that was solely from just butchering people who were fleeing. But great game. Jup, super nice guy. He had great manners. Good for him. So, yeah, some great games today. I think we played 3 Dwarves, 1 Empire, and 1 Tomb Kings and managed to pull out some wins. It's nice to be kind of returning to Soul multiplayer. Ugh, my throat's starting to hurt from all that fast talking. I don't know how Turin does it. I'm just curious what the leaderboard looks like these days. I don't know who Quan is. Lotus Moon I know. Don't know who this is. MG84 I know. Tlaxon Soothsayer I know. Zyphos. Tibbs I've met before. Slade I've fought before. Slayer I've seen. He's also in Lionheart's tournament. I was hoping none of the top 100 guys would slip in there, but there you go. Romulan Dog I've met. Pancreas I know. Cork and Mork. Iron General. Archon the Black is probably my least favorite player in the entire game. Pippington's in here. God of Gabos. Jonton. And looks Shetland Apache. He's a little high up. I'm pretty sure I'm in like the 200s or so, 400s. Yeah, 400. So when you don't play, your rank starts going way up. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try and work our way back down. All right, guys. That's gonna pretty much call it today. Thanks to all of you that hit the like button. We're going to be doing hour streams every night of quick battles, practicing with Lizardman in preparation for Lionheart's tourney. Whew. Goodness. And once... What in the world? Whatever. So, thank you all for coming by. We'll be here every day doing this, practicing for Lionheart's tournament, because there's a lot of pounds on the line, and I intend to make a good showing for myself. Of course, we're also kind of pseudo-practicing for our tourneys, other tournaments as well. Like, we got to finish Shadow Online's tournament, who I fight Janet, which I'll probably do that game tomorrow. So thanks for watching. I'm going to go do some other stuff. I will see you guys later. Rolana, I will message you on Steam. Thanks for reminding me. With that, we will talk about Age of Sigmar more next time, and keep your eyes out for some videos that are coming out soon. I hope you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.